everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. My name is Brenda and I'm going to be your cooking guide. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate it. You can count that as your good deed for the day. So my New Year's resolution is to do random acts of kindness, and sometimes little things make a huge difference. Subscribing to my channel makes a huge difference to me, so thank you ahead of time. So we're going to do my favorite restaurant's copycat recipe, which is the OG's chicken Marsala, or as I'd like to call it, the Olive Garden. So I don't even think it's on the menu anymore. So, and not to mention, I'm going to make this for 4 people for the price of 1. So let's go ahead and start with a ½ cup of flour. We're going to do ½ teaspoon of garlic salt. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of Italian herbs. And then we're just going to do a little salt and pepper. And this is to taste, but I would say ½ teaspoon of salt and maybe ¼ teaspoon of black pepper. So, and then I'm going to do these Parmesan roasted potatoes that are to die for. So let's go ahead and just give this a quick mix. So I did start with 4 chicken breasts. I did go ahead and cut them in half, thin. And then I did take a mallet and I did go ahead and put the mallet down and just beat them. If you don't have a mallet, take a frying pan. Don't do it right on the counter. Go ahead and get a cutting board or something. So basically we just want to make sure this is dredged, and dredged is basically just flouring the chicken. You want to either do a fork or gloves if you have them. Just shake off that excess flour. Alright. Sorry, I know it sounds like I'm getting sick, so I'm trying to enjoy this last meal in case I do wake up with a horrible cold tomorrow and don't feel like eating. This has been on my list of things to make for a while. So, alright. We have got our flour done. I do have our Blackstone on high. And we are just going to go ahead and throw down some olive oil. I do the avocado. And you want a generous amount of oil for this one, just because we're going to be frying it. So let's go ahead and get these guys down. And then we're going to work on our sauce. And it's definitely a lot colder here, so it's still taking a little longer for my girl to warm up than I'm used to, but we will make this work. Alright, so we've got this going. Alright. So these are going to take about 5-ish minutes on each side. So let's go ahead and start with our sauce. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to go ahead and saute our onions in here. So I did scallions, which is like the little weird purplish looking onion. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those in. And then I also have 1 small container of mushrooms. This is the mini portobellas. You can do whatever kind of mushrooms you want. I just like the portobellas. And for the sauce, we're going to have to do this in here because I don't have the math skills to keep everything in otherwise. So we're just going to go ahead and give those a minute. Now let's work on our potatoes. So for the potatoes, what I did is I started these in the Instant Pot earlier today. So this is equivalent to just basically a baked potato. And I'm actually going to do these in slices, so just a couple inches thick. You don't have an Instant Pot, just go ahead and do it in the oven. So we're going to go ahead and cut these. And these guys are still a little warm, which is fine, but we're going to cook them on the grill anyway, so. And then I'm going to go ahead and oil these so our seasoning stick better to them. All right. That one fell apart on us. Okay, so again, I'm just using the oil. Just giving it a quick drizzle. And then I'm going to season this. I've got the Parmesan Ranch from Blackstone. So I'm just going to go ahead, give this a good dusting of it. A little bit of garlic salt. And then just a little salt and pepper. You want to go ahead and throw some of that Italian seasoning on it if you'd like. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip these over and do the same seasoning on the other side. And just a little bit of oil. This helps everything stick. So. And then I'm going to go check on everything else and leave these potatoes for a minute. So if you have time and you're watching this awesome video, can you give me some ideas of some restaurants that you would like to see copycat meals from? I think that's what I'm going to focus on here for the next week or two is that. So, and maybe some appetizers since football season is coming up. Okay, these are getting a nice brown on them. But I still want to make sure that they're not going to be too dry, so I'm just going to throw a little bit of oil down when I flip them. Now this chicken's pretty thin, so it cooks pretty quick. So, alright. And let's get these moved over off to the side so we can get the rest of our stuff cooking here. Now our mushrooms and onions aren't cooking nearly as fast as I would like, so I'm just going to go ahead, throw them on the grill here for a second just so I can get them cooking. Remember, you're cooking with chicken and then you switch and you're cooking with vegetables or anything else, go ahead and swap out your spatulas. Basically, I just want to get these kind of a little bit softer, a little bit cooked before we go ahead and do our sauce. So let's get our chicken real quick. Oh, all right. Well, our chicken is cooked already, so I'm going to go ahead, slide this over to the side, since we're not quite ready for these guys. But I'm going to go ahead, drop this down to the lowest temperature so they stay warm but don't overcook. So. I'm just going to kind of clean off the grill real quick before I go ahead and put anything else down in here. So we're going to go ahead, throw our pan. Mushrooms are coming along really good, so I'm going to go ahead and throw these in here. Next, let's work on our sauce. So I've got 1 cup of chicken broth, which I actually use that better than bouillon stuff in. So we're going to do 1 cup of chicken broth. This is the Marsala wine. I think it was about $12 at the liquor store. This is probably how they do it in the restaurant. So we're going to go ahead. It's kind of like a dark wine. This is more for cooking. This isn't something that you're going to want to be drinking down on Friday night, if you know what I mean. Alright. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a stir and kind of let this cook up a little bit. Now let's work on those potatoes. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw a tablespoon of garlic in this sauce too. If you had fresh garlic, just go ahead and throw a little in there, but alright, let's work on those potatoes. So we've got our potatoes seasoned. So for this, what I want to do is, if I go ahead and put our Parmesan down first, just on our grill, I don't think that's going to work out super great for me. So what I want to do is go ahead, put down some parchment paper, which you certainly can do on your grill. Parchment paper is good to up to like 500 degrees. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do fresh Parmesan. Go ahead and grate this on here, and then we're gonna stick our potatoes on here. And because of the oil and the seasonings and the melted cheese, they're gonna stick right to our potatoes and give them a nice crisp. So, all right. Let's grab our potatoes, and we're just gonna put them right down onto this Parmesan cheese, which is already melting very quickly. Need a little bit more of this. For this one, I would say the fresh Parmesan is definitely a better option. Gotta make room for all these potatoes. And it probably would have been easier if you actually pre-did this, but, you know, who doesn't like a good struggle every once in a while? And as you can see, our potatoes are already getting that nice crust from the Parmesan. And this is cooking up, so basically we're looking for this to boil. And then we're going to do 3/4 cup of heavy cream. This makes the sauce all the much better. All right, let's give this a quick stir. All right, so we want this to come to a boil, and then it's going to start thickening up. So, but with everything, when you're doing your seasonings and your sauces, make sure you're testing it, see if it needs anything. That is pretty good. And definitely taste the alcohol. So what happens is when you're starting to boil this, you're going to go ahead and get that alcohol taste is going to burn out. So, all right. We've got these potatoes doing great. And you know what? I'm going to do Parmesan on both sides, so I'm going to get smart and actually put this in a bowl real quick. And give that Marsala sauce a chance to boil and thicken up. So maybe next time I think I would start with the sauce, because apparently that's taking longer than the chicken. When that chicken is so thin, it cooks so quickly, so. Right. So you can see that Parmesan is getting toasty on here. Oh my gosh, look at that. So pretty. And they're going to be nice and crunchy from being toasted like this. And we'll just throw a little bit on the top of these guys. So. Alright. So we're going to give this sauce probably another 2-3 minutes. So we're going to come back. I'm going to clean up this and get ready to show you how to plate this. Hey everybody, so we are back. So if you want to take a look at our Parmesan potatoes, these things are so amazing. You've got with that Parmesan, definitely use that parchment paper. It makes a huge difference. So go ahead and grab our chicken. So it did take me about another 3 minutes for this sauce. So this sauce isn't supposed to be like a real thick, creamy sauce. So, but make sure we get our mushrooms on this. So go ahead and top this with some Parmesan if you'd like. But let's go ahead and give this a try. So I'm going to start with these potatoes. So I love the potatoes with that ranch dressing, or Parmesan ranch on it. And the crusted Parmesan, super good. It's nice and chewy. So go ahead and give this. You know what? You don't have to go to the Olive Garden if you have a Blackstone. Go ahead and make this at home. That's all you need. See you next time. Eat happy.